largely in terms of the reorganization of government. Thank you very much. Honorable Joyce, Dr. Joyce Atieno Bensouda, the Member of Parliament for the great people of Mutembei County. Have you contributed to this motion?
I haven't, Mr. Speaker, and that's why I put my card to contribute on this motion.
Yeah, if so, take all your time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this noble motion. For those who do not know me, once more, I'm Honorable Dr. Joyce Atieno Bensouda, woman representative, Mutembei County. So Mutembei is here, full house with 8 constituencies. And I thank you, Mr. Speaker, because I am your woman representative. And sitting beside Ms. Karachuonyo, MP, who is also one of the people whom I come with from the same county. I really appreciate when I hear, I want to be very brief today, because the issues to be supported in the motion are quite clear, quite precise, doesn't even require more debate, requires implementation. Where a nod is required, that is what I want to give. Where further consultation and intensive public participation is required, it must go to the people. And therefore, I want to appreciate the current government who has brought 4 items into this parliament to legislate over it. Top cream is the 2/3 gender rule. I remember, Mr. Speaker, during my campaign, one of the things that I promised the women, I'm going to be in that parliament and I'm going to push for implementation of 2/3 gender rule once and for all. I want to congratulate all the women who are in this parliament, the senior ones who are not with us here, but are in other levels of government. I want to appreciate those who have earned the position either in private, parastatal, and what have you. I want to inform and categorically go on record that 2/3 gender rule in this parliament doesn't require further debate, requires implementation. It is long overdue. I think we are moving towards taking side shows when we are still wondering whether it will be implemented or not. I want to urge all the sitting members of parliament from the male gender, this is something that we want to see you on the forefront. It is the women who are leading this country, right from the village, from the houses where we come from. When a woman is in front, everything is perfect. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to say that 2/3 gender rule becomes concluded. Let us not debate over this thing until even Jesus will come back and find us we are still pretending over the 2/3 gender rule. On to the second session, which is enshrining NGCDF and GAF. In Kenya, we are 47 women representatives. I'm very happy that we have shifted as a parliament. When we mention NGCDF, it's something, a sixth sense comes into their minds and all minds of the MPs who are representing constituencies, and they mention GAF not left behind. Bensouda is saying GAF is fast. We have seen the fruits of NGCDF, very conspicuous, very objective. In my constituency, I see the classrooms which can be models. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Kaluma, for what you've done on classrooms in Mutembei Town constituency. I see what Honorable Adipo Kwame does in the constituency where I cook ugali. There is no debate about NGDCF. If anything, we are calling for an increased percentage, not a reduction, not a debate over it. And we are saying that when we came to parliament, in my maiden speech, I said categorically, I did not resign from my job to become a flower girl. I'm above being a flower girl in the parliament. I'm here to represent. I cannot represent words and statements. I represent work. And work goes along with financial mobilization. And therefore, I echo the government for bringing that part of NGCDF and GAF enshrined in the Constitution. I remember very well when we had a sitting when the current government visited Homa Bay, Dr. William Samoei Ruto said, when I stood up to rise on behalf of the 47 women reps, Bensouda, I have already signed that. Kazi ni kwenu huko bungeni. Himself he said it. Is there anybody still doubting about Ngaf? What we get is good enough. But what we are saying, when considerations are being done for increment, we want women reps to represent effectively and efficiently. And so I support. When I come to the issue, there are 4 issues. We have the issue of the Senate. I want to argue and support from the perspective of a project planner. There is no monitoring and evaluation which can be done without resources, which can be done without mapping out the framework of the project to be monitored. I believe Senate is doing that. What I'm saying, can there be realistic budget demanded so that when the county governments, the national government is being put into check, then we are doing it from a realistic perspective. And of course, the reports must be timely submitted to ascertain whether we are implementing on the right direction as per the plan, whether we are achieving our goals or not, and what can be done. This requires movement. You cannot move on a motorcycle. It requires fuel. It requires the human resource. It requires the ICT. All this requires resources. So can we have something realistic for the Senate? I think the last one we are busy arguing, I just entered when my colleague was talking about whether we have the official position or not. To me, I want to say, Kenyans, we must be honest. Opposition has been in this house every time. And that means they are not opposing what is happening, but they are providing for checks so that effective balances are there. That is the direction we want to go. This does not stop those who are providing for checks and balances to give informative information outside to the common mwananchi. Not all of them are having televisions. There are issues which I think, even for myself, I need to be properly updated on. The effects, you are a legislature speaker, take us on. There is no rush. We want this thing to be done in a private, in a more concurrent way. We are not rushing to have the opposition office now. After all, the checks are being questioned here. So what is the rush? That is my question. I thank you, Mr. Speaker. I submit.
Honorable Dr. Joyce Atieno Osogo Bensouda, you've not told the people of Kenya how Homa Bay County, which you represent, has dealt with the issue of affirmative action. And I've not heard you appreciate the fact that the people of Homa Bay have always complied with the requirement in terms of electing, the ladies. Can you take a minute or two to do so? And also confirm to us that case over which a judgment was being delivered in Homa Bay today. Because Homa Bay County, which you are honored to represent, is also the first county west of Kenya to elect a woman governor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I didn't want this time for me to be told time out. That's why I was a bit fast. But thank you for giving me the honor, first and foremost, to appreciate Homa Bay County as a whole. I'm telling you, those are very bright people. They don't just elect. They elect people who can represent them well. You don't go campaigning for them to elect you. They make their critical analysis, and they give you the votes that you are worth of. I want to confirm to this House that the MPs who are elected in Homa Bay County are people with strong personality. They are competent. And in most cases, when the representation of even Kenya is being done, like now I'm just from Zambia. Why did I go to Zambia? Millie Odhiambo is presenting another conference which is championing from tomorrow. So that tells you how Homa Bay County MPs are competent. I want to appreciate that Homa Bay County elected the first woman governor in Nyanza region, whom since being in office for the last 6 months, we are seeing changes taking place. I've not been keen, Mr. Speaker, to watch, but when I kneel down and I pray, I know everything is good in the sight of God. So whatever judgment is there, I even know through the Spirit. We are moving on. There is no turning back in terms of health facilities. Homa Bay is becoming clean. In fact, the last time I visited Kisumu and Homa Bay, I'm even seeing Homa Bay bypassing Kisumu. Just give it 2 months. I'm seeing Homa Bay bypassing Kisumu in terms of environmental cleanliness. The MPs who are there are effectively doing their work. Myself, as a woman rep, I'm very competent. Within the short period, I want to tell this House that the little that I was given, Mr. Speaker, you saw I launched what is called Mama County Back to School program. My predecessor was doing Mama County Says, but I'm doing Mama County Back to School program with 5 components: gender-based violence, sexual reproductive health, bursary allocation, academic mentorship, and health and sanitation. Quite bright and quite competent. I want to say that the MPs who are there, we work together. We unite and review. That is the way forward that we have championed this time. Even the CIDP were invited together so that we give input on how we want our constituencies to run and prioritize on what projects we are doing. I'm very proud of Homa Bay County, very proud of Excellency Gladys Atieno Nyasunawanga, very proud of all the 8 MPs, particularly the 5 female, Lilian Gogo, Ivo Bara, Millie Odhiambo, myself, including the governor. 5 female MPs in that county. I'm telling you, if other counties are not careful, Homa Bay County is going to be number 1 among all the 47 counties. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. The Honorable Dr. Wilberforce Oundo, had you contributed to this motion?
Yes, Your Honor, I had contributed to this motion. I'm just intrigued by the passion by the women rep from
Homa Bay.
From Homa Bay. The passion is immense, and I think she could pass the passion to other counties so that we don't waste time talking about this funny thing called the 3rd gender rule that we must put it in the law. Let her pass the passion to other places. Thank you.
And you know, Dr. Oundo, those ladies, those great gentle ladies she has mentioned, hold very top-level academic qualifications. She forgot to add Dr. Lilian Gogo, Dr. Ivo Bara, Senior Counsel, Human Rights Advocate, Millie Odhiambo Mabona. So you see, what she says is true. These are very learned and competent people making very valuable contributions in national debate. On 14th August, in the year 1990, honorable members, this country lost